channel for another video. Welcome back to the Division for another video in the Division, clearly. So today we are going to go over my PvE AlphaBridge build for 1.5, current 1.5. So yeah, so if you guys have any suggestions on how I could change the build, please do let me know in the comments down below. I would greatly appreciate it. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and follow me at Game Master YouTube to keep up to date with the channel. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for joining me, and enjoy the video. Alright, so here we go. I just want to warn you that this is nothing special at all. It is a PvE build. I'm trying to make it PvP, but I'm not really sure how to go about it. So again, if you guys have suggestions, please feel free to let me know in the comments on how I can change the build. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. So, as you can see, my primary DPS is 359,991. My toughness is 300,342. And my skill power is 84,750. Now, this is a build in progress, meaning I am not only trying to get it a good PvE build, but I really want to get a PvP build too. And 360,000 DPS and 300,000 toughness just is not enough for a PvP build. You need at least 400,000 at both of those, or at least 350,000 toughness to even stand a chance PvP, as well as a bunch of other stats, and I'm not even going to go into that. But as for skill power, I want that to be around at least 90,000. That's not my main concern. I'm not too concerned about that. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump right in. So first of all, I guess we'll just go ahead and start with the weapons. So first of all, I have the lightweight M4, and I got this from the weapons vendor down in the terminal for 1,200 Phoenix credits or something like that. This was the God roll, pretty much, lightweight M4 at that time. So it has 22% enemy armor damage. It has a base damage of 20.7k, 850 rounds per minute, and 30 magazine size. And because of my attachments, it increases. But this had deadly, vicious, and destructive on it. And those are probably not as of right now, but they are three really, really good talents to have on a gun. So to be able to buy it, even with a ton of Phoenix credits, was absolutely amazing, and it brought my DPS up a lot. Actually, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, no. It had vicious and destructive on it, and deadly I re-rolled. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I was talking about a previous gun I had before this, which I can't think of what it was. It was an LVAC, I think, or VOC, or however you say it, that had all three of these, but I did re-roll this one for deadly. I don't even remember what the first one was, but anyway, it's still good talents. Sorry about that, I just lost my mind for a minute. And then my secondary weapon is an enhanced ACR, has 20.6k, 760 rounds per minute, and a 32 standard mag. And, oh yeah, it has 21% enemy armor damage. And on this it has responsive, prepared, and vicious. Vicious is pretty good. The responsive and prepared, I'm not really sure if it really makes much of a difference. I mean, I thought they sounded pretty good, but honestly, I don't know if responsive and prepared is really good. I just thought, you know, damage is increased by 10% when closer than 10 meters, and damage is increased by 15% when more than 30 meters. So I figured it would cover me on that close, far range kind of deal, you know. I'm not 100% certain. And then because I have the 4-piece AlphaBridge build, I obviously have the talents of the 2 other talents of the other weapons. So I have a ton of good talents on both of these weapons. And then for the pistol, it doesn't really matter. I just have a X45. It's nothing special. It's expert and vicious on it. I re-rolled it to have vicious on it. Expert isn't even really that great of a talent, I don't think. So yeah, so there's the weapons. So next up, we'll go with the chest plate. And as you can see, excuse me, I have Barrett's bulletproof vest. I cannot stress how many times I ran the fucking mission to get this vest. I'm pretty sure, I think, I counted, I was at like 210 times, something like that. They need to increase the fucking drop rate of this thing just a tiny bit. And it was hell to get this thing. And when I got it, it was a terrible roll. It was absolutely awful. I was extremely disappointed, extremely upset, extremely pissed off, but what are you going to do? So, Barrett's bulletproof vest, it has 3,000 armor, it had 467 firearms, I don't remember what the stamina was, and it had 205 electronics, and it rolled as an electronics roll, so the main roll was electronics, and I just wasn't having that, and, the reason I rolled it in stamina is because it dropped my stamina a shit ton, but it kept my DPS around the same, so I decided to roll it to stamina. I almost got 1,400 on it. I don't even know if you can get that high, but anyway, so I re-rolled it to have a stamina build, which kind of worked. The talents are no skills on cooldown increase skill power by 10%. 1 skill on cooldown increases damage by 5%, and 2 skills on cooldown increases armor by 10%. Now, I don't know if that's the same for all of them. I have no idea. I would imagine, since it's a unique item, it is. But then the attributes is where it gets a little dirty. 1,092 armor, okay. 10.5 exotic damage resilience, not so good. I would rather have enemy armor damage, and then ammo capacity, which is really good. So it wasn't a very good roll at all, and I was extremely disappointed. I really wanted to get a firearms or DPS build, but what are you gonna do? This is just a chest piece that I was using before the AlphaBridge chest. I had a 6-piece going for a while. I'm just gonna try to speed through the rest of these here. So I have this AlphaBridge mask. It has 905 armor. It's decent. It has pretty high firearms. I re-rolled to have critical hit chance and has increased kill XP. Yeah, that's basically all there is for that. Nothing too special about that AlphaBridge mask. It gets the job done. I would have liked to have a little more stamina on it, but there's not much you can do. And the armor as well. Would have been nice to have a little more. AlphaBridge knee pads. Rerolled the major attribute to have critical hit damage. And this is where this one kind of sucks. It has disorient resistance, bleed resistance, and enemy armor damage. The only good thing on there really is the enemy armor damage. The disorient and bleed resistance I really do not care about. But as you can see, it had a very, very high stamina, which is absolutely awesome. So I decided to use it anyway and just re-roll that to critical hit damage. I don't even remember what it had before. And next up for the backpack, this thing had a ton of armor, which was awesome. I think this originally rolled that stamina was the highest roll, and I re-rolled it to firearms, so I got 1,262 on that. And it had pretty decent attributes with 8 critical hit damage and 55 ammo capacity. So that was pretty good. Yeah, so there's that. The gloves, we did not do so good. 936 armor is okay. 1,242 firearms was pretty good. And then the major attributes, I re-rolled it to 1,273 assault rifle damage. I think it had pistol damage on it before, so I re-rolled, or not pistol damage, SMG damage, excuse me. So I re-rolled it to assault rifle damage, and then we had pistol damage on there, which I really don't care so much about. And then 5.5 critical hit chance, which was really good. So these were decent gloves when I got them. I just wish there would have been assault rifle damage on them already, so I could have re-rolled the pistol damage to something else, but what are you going to do? And these were the second set I used. They're not really any better, to be quite honest with you. And then finally the holster, which is not an AlphaBridge, it's actually a Spec Ops holster, and this holster is absolutely terrible, yet I have not found anything better yet. I had to re-roll this thing up to have more firearms. It had plenty of stamina, I was okay with that, and plenty of electronics, I was okay with that as well. And the talent on this thing was absolutely terrible. Damage taken during cover is regenerated over 5 seconds when reaching the destination. It's 98% useless, I can tell you that, and it is what it is. I couldn't find one better. And then the major attribute is 612 armor. I had this AlphaBridge holster, but it was actually worse, and the reason it's worse is because now you look, I have almost 360,000 DPS and 300,000 toughness. If I put this thing on, it goes down to 358,000 DPS and 287,000 toughness. The DPS drop I can deal with, but the toughness is just, I couldn't handle it, so that's why I still have this thing. But it is what it is, you know, what can you do? There's not really much you can do about it. And then, whoops, that was the wrong thing. Going into the abilities I use are First Aid, and right now I have Overdose on. Now, normally people would use Booster Shot, and I really just don't think that Booster Shot is necessary in PvE situations. The reason for that is because they're obviously not human players, so you're not really going to have an issue getting away if you're quick enough. So I don't really think you need Booster Shot to increase, you know, your DPS and damage resistance. I just really don't think Booster Shot is absolutely necessary in PvE. I think if you want to use it, you could, but it's not really going to give you that much more of a benefit. Booster Shot is more of a PvP type deal. So I use Overdose. It's just the thing I always use for the heal. I never really use anything else. Yeah, that's pretty much all it is. That's all I use for that. And then I use Pulse. For Pulse, I use the damage is increased when attacking hostile targets identified by the Pulse scan, the tactical scanner. I really didn't find anything else that really tickles my fancy, per se, for the Pulse. This just sends out a recon, so it's just kind of regular. This increases the range and increases the loot, or it shows loot. Which, I mean, really, in endgame, isn't that big of a deal. If you find loot, you do. If you don't, you don't. And then, this one, it really has no use. I mean, maybe it would in PvE, or PvP, excuse me, sort of. But I just don't think it's really necessary. So, there's the abilities I use. The First Aid and the Pulse. I do switch it up. Every now and then, I will use the Sticky Bomb or the Seeker Mine. I think Seeker Mines are really useful, although they don't do a lot of damage unless you have a perfect build. I think they are actually pretty useful. So, as for the talents that I use Adrenaline, I use Critical Save, and I use Strike Back. Now, Adrenaline, use a medkit when not at full health to receive an overheal. This is extremely useful in PvE, especially when you're fighting bosses, because if you have your first section of health just a little bit low and you pop this thing, you're going to get an overheal, and you're going to be able to run in there and tank the enemies, which is absolutely amazing. And then I have critical save. Use a medkit during low health to increase damage resistance by 40% for 10 seconds. Which this isn't the greatest talent on Earth, but it definitely helps out in certain points of PvE. I could use something different. If I was with a party, I could use something like Battle Buddy or Triad, Triag. I can't even say words today. Excuse me. Or you could use this one. I just really don't think that anything else really benefits me that much on a PvE build. And then finally on this side we have Strike Back. Reach low health to reduce active skill cooldown by 20%. This is actually really good, especially if you have a low skill power, and it's taking a while to build up your skills again. This is really helpful on PvE. It's also helpful on PvP too, but PvE I actually do enjoy using this, and it helps a shit ton. And then finally, we have On the Move. Kill a hostile while moving to reduce incoming damage by 30% for 10 seconds. Even though it is a PvE, I think On the Move is extremely important. It's important for PvP too, but for PvE in particular, I really do think that this works very well. It's the one skill that works well for PvP and PvE as well. But I just love this skill. It has gotten me out of some sticky situation with bosses, I can tell you that. So that's basically the talents I use. So I'm thinking that is pretty much it. Besides, I didn't really tell you guys the attachments that I have on my weapons, which really doesn't make that much of a difference. For the lightweight M4, I have a Omega rifle suppressors, 10 headshot damage and critical hit chance and accuracy. Again, I really don't think it's necessary to go through all these because I don't think they really matter that much. I mean, they do, but it is what it is. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is my PvE AlphaBridge build for 1.5 as of right now. If you guys have any suggestions on how I could change the build, please let me know. Give me ideas on how I could even turn this build into a PvP build. I want to be around 400,000 DPS and at least 350,000 toughness and 90,000 skill power. Where it is right now is alright, but I would love 90,000 at least. I don't really think I'm going to be able to get it up to 100,000. If I do, that would be awesome. But so yeah, if you guys have any suggestions, please feel free to leave a comment down below on how I can change the build to make it maybe a PvP build, a better PvE build, or a PvP build. I can't even talk, so I'm going to end the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Drop a like if you did enjoy the video. It would help out a shit ton. You have no idea. Subscribe if you are new to the channel, and follow me at Game Master YouTube. I can't even speak today to keep up with all the videos. So I hope you guys did enjoy, and I am out of here. Peace.